Welcome to another episode of the Vegan Pulse. I am your host, Nancy Arenas. With me today is Matthew Piccione. Hi, Matthew.
Hello, Nancy. Hello, everyone.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing really well, feeling good. It's great weather out here in Southern California. A little windy, but I'm enjoying it. So how are you out there?
I'm doing okay, staying in for the most part, staying safe. So why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
I'm Matthew Piccione, which that actually means, the last name actually means pigeon in Italian. So little fact there. But mostly what I do revolves around wellness, veganism, plant-based. I've been a certified personal trainer for quite a few years, over a decade. I've combined that with a nutrition cert, and I just recently picked up a behavior change specialist cert, which I'm really excited about. Help me more with the wellness. I've been doing stand-up comedy for 10 years, and MCing, which of course I did a little bit at the event last year, and that was really fun. First time I ever did comedy there. And doing some MCing, cooking demos, which is what I've really been loving. So fun to do the cooking demos, as you know, showing people food they didn't know existed. So I've been doing that for the past 8 months. Currently can't do it right now because it's a community center, but that's really what I'm diving more into now is the cooking.
Tell me, what does health mean to you?
Well, health, typically people think physical, but I like to encompass, I look at mind, body, spirit, energy, chi, whatever you want to call that last one. I tell people, health isn't just what you have on the plate. It's not just the exercise, but one of the biggest parts to health to me is, our thoughts, what we're thinking throughout the day. The thoughts are what's going to get us into the gym. The thoughts are what's going to make us put what foods on our plate. Everything starts with our thoughts. So to me, the biggest form is thinking happy thoughts, positive thoughts. Something negative comes up, replace it, because you cannot be healthy if you're not thinking healthy and properly. So like the placebo effect, that's a thought process right there. So health to me is getting the right foods, plant-based, alkaline foods, of course, the exercise, but also not forgetting about what we're thinking throughout the day.
Around Zen, can you tell me all about that?
Perfect segue into that, because how that came about was pretty much what I was just touching on now. I was a certified personal trainer for a long time, but anybody that's been in that field knows it can be very frustrating. People leave you and you don't know what they're going to do. But not just that, fitness, I started looking at the human body as if it was a link or chain of many links. And I realized physical fitness is just one part. It's just one link. You still have so many other things, like I was saying, the thoughts, the exercise, the meditation. So that's when I realized I need to hit all of this. And it was what I had been doing in my personal life. So I was like, I know what to do. So all around Zen, that came kind of mind, body, spirit, all around Zen. And I was fortunate to start getting to do some wellness workshops for a nonprofit out here that I eventually worked for. Even got to do a workshop for 40 former domestic violence victims. And they really loved, to be able to empower them, getting back on track where they're going was really unique to provide with them with that. So all around Zen became just that all around approach to people who wanted to clean up more than just the physical fitness. It goes beyond just losing weight. It's a permanent healthy lifestyle that I want to teach people how to do on their own, where eventually they don't need me, empower them themselves. So kind of what that is.
I totally believe that in order for you to be healthy, you have to, it's not just what you eat or exercise, it's also your thoughts, it's also your heart, it's also your gratitude. It's a whole round holistic approach. And that's what I liked about when I saw that you had all around Zen.
Thank you. No, that exactly the holistic approach, like you're saying, that's like the plant-based diet it's going after the entire system, not one thing that's broken down. And that's why I've been vegan for a long time. But like we all say, wish would have done it sooner, right?
That's pretty much every vegan I've met, inclusive of myself.
Yeah. But when you have a meat and potato sports dad like mine growing up, you don't even. I was I'm grateful, like you mentioned, that you're right. Gratitude is, powerful. And I am grateful I can find a path of veganism, having a dad who was polar opposite in his attitude and just diet and things like that. So, sometimes you can learn the opposite of things from your parents. So,
And the plant-based diet, I mean, it helps with your self, with your health, but it also helps with your mind. It also helps you become kinder, more compassionate. It's just like veganism has so many facets that some people don't even know about. It's really mind-boggling that it does attach itself to so many things. And only when you start on that journey do you start realizing that.
yeah, you're right, because like you say, you're starting that journey. And I was talking to, I was just at getting some vegan tamales from someone recently, just hours ago. And we were talking about how there's been a lot of division, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of division arising in the vegan movement. And I live in California, Southern California, and unfortunately there's been a lot of division coming out of it. And, it's a little frustrating to see, but we got to, make sure it's growing. We got to make sure we continue to work together. And, I'm all about leading by example. And anybody that I've ever known that's went vegan or wanted information came out of the blue saying, hey, I see what you do. I see how you eat. And, and that's why it's growing, because people are seeing, people like you, people like our friends see us, the way we operate, the energy and vitality we have. And that's contagious.
Yeah, it's good for everybody.
And maybe one good thing that does come out of, such a bad situation right now is people could be more mindful of what they're eating, things like that, which is more mindful of their habits and all of that. Maybe, we might see a spike in veganism. I made a post about veganism and someone was like, Matt, you got to be smarter than that to use the pandemic to promote veganism. I was like, I'm promoting health. Like, this is we got this because of people eating dead animals. Like, and people don't get it. They still don't get it.
Right. Do you have like a general routine that you start out telling your clients?
Yes, the very first thing I'm always going to start with is nutrition, because as you know, it starts with that. You can't clean up anything after nutrition. It starts with that. So I have like a 6-page nutrition guide that I came up with. It's my own. In I don't like getting people into very rigid systems for like food. When you have people coming from a lifestyle of no discipline, really overweight, or just bad habits that are really trying to clean that up, I don't believe in giving them a concrete diet plan that's going to take extreme discipline. I give them a structure that shows them these are the foods that you can eat, breakfast or this and that, or, even the water. And I've seen doctors talk about this. I tell people, when to drink water? When you're thirsty. When you don't feel when you feel full, don't keep drinking that water. You can overdo it. To tell people that they need this many ounces per day. Not everybody's the same. Not everybody's as active, burns as much water. And now you might be going to bed, pounding a bunch of water you don't need because you didn't hit that number. So I take I give people a little bit of leeway with their options of what they can do. We're still tracking them in to more health, but focused nutrition. Meditation is a big one, as you know. That helps calm the frequency, get you, more familiar with that inner self. The essential oils, introduce people to those, because those are powerful. Taking bath or the aromatherapy. So, and I try to figure out their personalities, because some people might not have the discipline to jump right to a nutrition change, but maybe they've gravitated towards the essential oils, and that could be the first change that gets the ball rolling. So that's where the last cert with behavior change really came into play, was narrowing down what I need to do for what person's goals and what kind of personality they have.
Right.
And those are simple ways of really grounding. So.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I know that in the morning, I'm a practicing Buddhist. So in the morning, my first thing is I'll do my chanting and then take a kind of overall inventory of how I'm feeling. to see where I'm at. And then I take my dog for a walk. So we watch the sunrise together, and, we watch how the sky is forming, the lights, the colors. It's just very soothing and calming. And like you said, grounding when you connect with nature that way. That's my opinion anyway.
Yeah, and fortunately, I know not everybody has it, but we are both fortunate. I live on the other side of the Route 66 in a different desert, but I almost felt like I drove 10 hours to a similar place when I was there in August. But we both are fortunate to have very natural. I just found some old primitive stone tools on an exploration yesterday. So we have in both our areas, even though they're different, we have untapped nature that we can take advantage of, which not everybody has that, but you can find your ways, just looking out a window and, like I said, finding a tree to focus on and get your mind off of it.
Totally. I think that you can find beauty in nature anywhere you are.
And that's why we're having, we're talking because we're on a very similar vibe, obviously. And yeah, exactly. The gratitude and thinking, I think the same thing, when I'm struggling or whatever frustration, hey, someone has it worse. COVID right now, I'm sure a lot of people are using that. We're all in a very frustrating situation. But, there's definitely some people out there better right now. Some have it worse. And you just got to focus on your situation and be grateful for, like you said, what it is you have. Every night, pretty much I'm the guy outside staring up at the stars, I'm literally physically saying what I'm grateful for. There's times I've struggled and I ignore those struggles and just give thanks for what it is, because you're not going to get more. The universe or whatever the source you believe in, Buddha, I'm definitely on the Buddha frequency as well. I love Buddha.
So do you have, like, when you have your class, do you start with a stretch and then you go into a routine and then a kind of slow down? How does it work?
So like with the wellness workshops that I've done, there's not typically too much activity in those. The one-on-ones, of course, if I'm doing something one-on-one, whether it's online and it's fitness, we got to warm up. If it's there's little mindfulness warm-ups before getting a big meditation, depending on where people are at in their level. Because, you meditate and it's just like anything. It's a skill. But the warm-up, yeah, so like the wellness workshops, there's not typically a warm-up. There'll be some stretching. But with the wellness workshop, it's more informative, and it's usually broken into 2-hour workshops. But I'll have them get up in between, stretch it out, show them stretches. Like if it's an office-based one with employees, show them stretches that they can do with their chair when they want to get up. Little workouts, dips on your chair in the office. You might look like the weirdo in the cubicle working out, but you're keeping the movement going and staying in shape. But with the workshops, they typically is involved going over the nutrition, the meditation. There's not too much physical activity in those, unless it's a group, fitness.
Well, good to know. I want to say thank you so very much, Matthew, for being part of the Vegan Pulse. I appreciate you taking the time out to talk with us. It's nice seeing you, and hopefully we'll see each other soon again.
Yes, thank you very much for having me. Appreciate the invite. Anytime someone wants to, talk to you, it's great. And I knew, we're on such a similar vibe, so it'd be a good conversation. And I just want to say that, my first trip to Albuquerque last year was amazing. It was just a great visit all around. I got to see the Rio Grande River, which was awesome. So, it was just a great trip. And looking forward, like I said, everything getting back to normal, doing it again soon. And the 10-hour drive through the Route 66 was just so purifying. So thank you again for that last year. So that was great. So bye everybody.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Vegan Pulse. I am your host, Nancy Arenas. Please follow us on Facebook, check out our new blog, and remember, if you have a pulse, you have a purpose. Live vegan.